Hey guys, it's your boy Mark, back with another 2023 movie thoughts. This is going to be my thoughts on the latest Mission Impossible film, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I saw this movie yesterday. I didn't really get a chance to be able to review it till now, but this is tonight's video, and I do have a whole bunch of notes I wrote down for this review. So hopefully this review will turn out good. I don't plan on saying spoilers. I will admit I did not watch any trailers, so if I say something that is considered a spoiler, I'm sorry, okay? But I hope you guys enjoy this. I think this review will turn out great. And yeah, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I did see this film yesterday, and I actually saw it in IMAX. Funny thing, I wouldn't lie, throughout the first half of yesterday, I was quite moody about stuff. I'm not going to get into that too much, but I knew I was going to be able to go to the movies, so I begrudgingly dragged myself to the car, to where my uncle would drive us all to the cinemas. And we actually went to the cinema at the mall in the city I used to live in. Well, not city, but like the town I used to live in. That did have a cinema, but it got destroyed by that 2016 earthquake, if you remember that massive earthquake that happened here in New Zealand at the end of 2016. Yeah, I never heard about that cinema being rebuilt, but apparently it was. And not only was it rebuilt, but it was rebuilt into an IMAX cinema. And I was so happy to see that, man. For the longest time, Auckland was the only city that had an IMAX cinema, and I actually did go to that cinema, that IMAX cinema, way back in 2016, during my Make-A-Wish trip to see Suicide Squad. And wow, like, being that I was moody, going to the movies, I did not expect to be seeing a movie in IMAX yesterday, man. For real. It really felt like God was there for me. It was like he knew I wasn't feeling all the best. So it was like to see that IMAX logo. It felt like God was saying to me, like, surprise. And I felt so much better, knowing that was an IMAX cinema. And knowing that we have IMAX in close proximity now is just so awesome. And it really, I don't know if I already said this, because I have said this in my mind many times before, like, actually sitting down to record this review, that, seeing an IMAX cinema again, it really felt like I was reuniting with an old friend. Because, when I first saw a movie in IMAX in 2016 for Suicide Squad, it really did feel like that, And, man, that was my first and only IMAX experience for the longest time, for 7 years, bro. Like, far out. It would have been 7 years next month since I first saw a movie in IMAX. And I finally saw it again. Not something I had on my radar happening again anytime soon, but I'm so happy, man. And now for my honest thoughts on the actual movie itself. And honestly, I don't think, my IMAX experience with it yesterday is gonna, like, hinder how I really feel about the movie at all, honestly. Because, honestly, I loved every second of Dead Reckoning Part 1. I just had so much fun throughout the whole thing. And the runtime, 2 hours, 45 minutes. It did not feel like that at all, man. I was just sitting there looking up. I did have a poor choice of seating, I will admit. I was literally like the third row closest to the screen, so I literally had to physically point my head up to like really look at the screen. You know what I mean? But the movie, it was so much fun. It was filled with action, of course, twists and turns. You don't know who to trust. You don't know who's telling the truth. You don't know who's BSing, which I will admit, all that stuff probably sounds something par the course for the Mission Impossible series. You know what I mean? But I love the cast. Tom Cruise, of course, is awesome. Rebecca Ferguson, awesome. Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, Haley Atwell is in this. She is amazing. The villain from Ozark, that Netflix series that I haven't gone back to since season 1. He's awesome. He's the villain in this. Vanessa Kirby or whatever, coming back from Fallout. I like her in this. Conrad from the show Revenge is in this. And Dr. Gordon from Saw is also in this, and he's good. This movie had a constant sense of world-ending doom, which is like perfect for the IMAX experience, I'm just going to say. The entity concept, very intriguing to me, and, you know, pretty amazing timing too, to have a concept like the entity in this movie, because, you know, what's going on right now with AI and all that, people having their reservations about, you know, AI technology. That's kind of what the entity is, you know. I love the musical score in this. It was very Dune-esque, I thought, and there was one scene that actually like takes place in the desert, which would suit the Dune-esque thing. But you hear this song throughout the whole thing, you know. I remember hearing it in like one of the final scenes of the movie, you know. Now, personally, if I were to compare this to the last one, Mission Impossible Fallout, that was at that point, you know, 2018. I did review Fallout. I don't know if it's going to be a reliable review, if I'm going to be honest, because at that time, I'm going to be honest, I really was letting the popular opinion control me too much. Couldn't make up my own freaking mind, I'll admit. But thankfully, since then, I was like, screw that. If I feel some way about something, I'm going to say so. And I don't care if I'm alone in that thought. And if I'm being honest, looking back, I don't know if I was that into Mission Impossible Fallout, honestly. And I know, like, I promise you, I swear to God, I'm not saying any of this to sound cool or anything like that, or edgy. I promise, okay? I swear to God. Like Fallout, it had a really dope bathroom fight scene. And I like Henry Cavill in that movie, but I'm not going to fully praise... I don't think I should fully praise a movie. I'm not going to anymore. For like one awesome scene in isolation. And one character I really like. And I'm going to be honest, I knew it. Like back then even. I couldn't admit it to myself. Like, kind of like how since then I've really like kind of denounced Avengers Endgame. I really don't like Endgame that much, honestly. And that movie could have been so much better, honestly. I really don't get the praise for that. But I'm feeling kind of that way about Mission Impossible Fallout as well. You know, and I'm going to be honest. People calling Fallout the Dark Knight of Mission Impossible movies, if you remember that. No doubt, that set my expectations insanely high. And I haven't really heard anyone call something the Dark Knight of something in a long time. Because for me personally, The Dark Knight is my favorite movie of all time. So of course, if someone says that this is the Dark Knight of this, of course that's going to get my expectations and my mind wired up beyond unachievable expectations, man. You know what I mean? So like this is something that's so overdue. I should have said all of my proper, real opinions about anything, everything, all along. Honestly, I really should have. And, for me personally, it's between this and Ghost Protocol, honestly, as to what my favorite film of the Mission Impossible franchise is. Although, I'll admit, I don't think I've given every single film of the franchise a proper good watch. I don't think. And weirdly enough, I don't think this film will be as praised as Fallout for some reason. I hope I'm wrong. Because honestly, man, I thought this movie was everything. And way better than Fallout, if you ask me. And the thing I said about The Dark Knight, am I a hypocrite? Because I would gladly say that John Cena versus CM Punk from Money in the Bank 2011 is the Dark Knight of wrestling matches. Am I a hypocrite for saying that? And then going on about, I can't believe I hear people calling this the Dark Knight of Mission Impossible and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Anyway, so Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, 2023, 10 out of 10. Easily my best film of the year so far, although no doubt, I have no doubt Oppenheimer's going to take that spot real soon, But I love Dead Reckoning to death. So much fun. If I had to give it any type of slack, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if I'm just pulling something out of thin air, but maybe the last action sequence was epic. It was, and very reminiscent-ish of Uncharted 2, the game. But maybe they were kind of holding back on the epicness of the final, action scene just to save that for Dead Reckoning Part 2 next year, which I don't blame them at all for. Maybe, if I had to give it something to give it slack for. But 10 out of 10, loved every bit of it. Hope you guys enjoyed my review. I think it turned out great. But, yeah. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Have a good one, y'all.